This is our second video on matrices, and our last video I kind of got cut off at the end, so I wanted to pull up the answers to the page where we left off. So we did this problem where we solved for x, but I wanted to pull up the answers to those other problems, so if you've taken time to practice on your own, you will know what those answers are. And so this set of notes should be rather short because we're just finishing up these last couple pages. So our last thing that we're going to look at today is what's called scalar multiplication of matrices. And so as you're looking at scalar multiplication, it just means you're multiplying a matrix by a real number. So I have this matrix, I'm multiplying it by the real number 3, so you can see each and every element has been multiplied by 3, and that's called scalar multiplication. So that's very straightforward. So hold on, sweetie, I'm making a video. Hold on. As we turn the page, we see that we have two matrices. Both of these are 2 by 3 matrices, so that means we can add or subtract them. And the first one says we want to find 5a minus 3b. So I'm going to go ahead and do the scalar multiplication and multiply a by 5. So 10, 15, negative 35, 5, 20, and 25. And instead of multiplying by just 3, I'm going to change this to plus a negative 3. So I'm going to multiply the second fraction by negative 3. So I'll get negative 9, 0, negative 18, 3, negative 24, and negative 6. And now I need to add these together. So again, the only reason that you can add matrices are when the dimensions are the same. So there's 5a minus 3b. So that leads us to some important properties. And so this first one says, will scalar multiplication be associative for matrices? And so scalar multiplication, again, is just multiplying a matrix by a real number. So here I have 2 times 3 times the matrix A. Would that equal 3 times 2 times the matrix A? And common sense should tell you yes, it will. And matrices, scalar multiplication also follows the distributive property. So I could take 2 times the quantity matrix A plus B, and I could distribute that and say that's the same as 2A plus 2B. Okay, so the next question says, what would the multiplicative identity for a matrix be? So, in other words, what would I multiply a matrix by to get the exact same matrix? So, here I've just got a box representing that real number. What would I multiply the matrix 2, 1, 3, negative 6, 0, 4 by to get that exact same matrix? So for nothing to change, the scalar number would have to be 1. So I mean that would be your multiplicative identity, is just the number 1 for a real number that you're multiplying by. And so what would be your multiplicative inverse? So here's what you've got to think about. Can you multiply a matrix by a number and get a matrix that contains all 1s? So can I take 2, 1, 3, negative 6, 0, 4, and multiply it by a single number that would result in 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Well, to turn 2 into 1, you'd have to multiply it by 1/2. And then you'd have to multiply this by 1, and this by 1/3. So since those would all have to be multiplied by different things, there is not a multiplicative inverse for that. All right, so our last problem here, we're just solving for matrix X. So the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and distribute this 2. So 6, 8, negative 4, and 2. And then I'm going to subtract the matrix. Be careful about that subtraction sign. So 10 minus 6 is 4. Then a negative 8. 4 minus a negative 4 gives me positive 8. 2 minus 2 is 0. And then I'm going to multiply by 1/4. So that's really a scalar multiplication. So 1/4 times 4 is 1, then negative 2, 2, and then 0. And so that's matrix 8. And so that rounds up, or matrix X, excuse me, that ends up our first set of notes until we have homework. I know we're going to continue on notes, but this would really be like day 2 of what we're going to go over.